Guess what? More troubles! Well, we're gonna now start taking on troubles that was from Chapter 1. And Kupuk is one of them. He's in Hooktail's castle. And in the most obvious, well, unobvious place actually, that you'll be able to find him. Don't worry, we'll be transitioning over to Hooktail's castle in just a little bit. As a matter of fact, he's right here. Now, how to get to him? Real simple. I mean, I already made it, but I just needed to show you how to get to him. Just use Koops to shoot the green block. And this is also the reason why I kind of glanced over the life shroom. Because I wanted to kill two birds with one stone. And Kupuk is found. And of course, he feels that nobody was going to be able to find him here. Of course, nobody would if nobody actually stopped to look here. Hide and seek Koopa. Ha, that's hilarious. Kupuk? I thought it was you. We used to be neighbors back when we were barely shell high. And he's thinking, Koops? Is that you? Yes, Koops. The same Koops that always had to be it whenever we played hide and seek. But you never found me. Not once. I can't believe you finally did it. Yeah, I remember back then. That one day you hid and no one ever found you. I think people would have forgotten about you by then. Right, that was the very day I decided to become the hide-and-seek Koopa. Ever since that day, I've hid and snuck and hid my way through life. That sounds like running from a loan shark, actually. Yep, that was a crazy day. But since you found me this time, I'll give you a reward like I promised. And this is actually for the Pianta Casino. That actually is a game where you can earn Pianta tokens. And don't worry, we'll get to the Pianta Casino's troubles when we get there. And by troubles, I mean one trouble. Also, it has a life shroom. So let's go on ahead and get this life shroom. And of course, life shroom is basically your Phoenix down. That's kind of the easiest way to say it. Anyway, now the next trouble we're going after is Bumberto. And for the record, store your life shroom. You do not want to feed it to Bumberto. Instead, you can feed him whatever you want, so long as it's edible food. If you feed him a mistake, he'll just spit it back out. But it has to be edible food. Despite what he says about being able to eat anything. And since I went there and cooked a fire flower, he'll be eating some spicy soup. Hope he doesn't explode. And we got 11 coins regardless of what we fed him. Next trouble. Well, at least that kind of compensated for the fire flower. Anyway, now it's time for us to talk to Mayor Croup. And Mayor Croup wants someone to talk to. So we're going to have to go all the way to Petalburg. Oh boy. It's time for us to hear a story. Now then, since we're here, let's go and talk to Mayor Croup. Yes. Well, Murphy, you must have got my request. Good. Oh, we're going to be here a while. Truth be told, I've been a touchy lonely here, with no one to talk to. Since you're here, why don't you relax with me for a bit and indulge in old Koopa? To tell you the truth, I got a few things to say about these kids today. And of course, he's going to go on and on and on. Good note, though, while he's talking away his life, you might want to stop over by the Toad Brothers shop and buy 5 courage shells. If you buy 5 courage shells, that would definitely help you out and save you the trouble of coming back here to buy 5 courage shells. Well, provided you have 25 coins. Why do you need them? You may ask. Not me, I meant you guys. Well, if you honestly must know, those 5 courage shells are actually needed for one of the troubles. And since I went through the trouble of coming here, I actually bought the 5 courage shells before I left. So it would be a good idea to do so. Oh, and just so you know, Mario's falling asleep. At least Kroop is actually talking to you and will give you something decent. At least it's not Koopakoot. Which Koopakoot, for the first couple of times you actually answer his troubles, give you a measly freaking coin. It's okay. It's okay. We don't talk about that mission. We don't talk about that guy. We just don't. But he's just going on a wild tangent about his wife and kids, and then the wife, and then the kids, and so forth and so forth. But at least you get something out of this, as opposed to advice like that mouse gave you. Nonetheless, that piece of advice would actually help, provided I actually think about buying Sleepy Sheep. Also, I just got myself a turtley leaf. Now, we could go back to Rogueport and cook it to make Koopa Tea. And Koopa Tea actually is pretty good, as it restores 7 flower points. Anyway, now it's time to go to Plenty, and he's not too far from here. Like I said, bought 5 courage shells, and Plenty is that mission that actually needs the courage shells. So let's go over to Plenty right about now. Oh, and make sure you store some of your stuff so you can make room for them. Specifically, important stuff, like Ultra Shrooms and things like that. You don't want that in your inventory. Alright. We just need to not talk to him, but instead, talk to the brother. He's not going to put courage shells out here, because this is like the very first shop of the game. But he will give you something really good if you actually complete this mission. So make sure you have 25 coins to spare. Now then, with 5 courage shells, this mission would be easily done, easy as pie, and is not as troublesome as you think. And we got ourselves an Ultra Shroom for it. Definitely store that away somewhere. You're gonna need it later. Ultra Shrooms are pretty hard to come by, you know. I'm gonna store this, and I may have to store the turtley leaf. I think I may have to. But I will withdraw some other things. I think the flower is one of them, I guess. And what else am I gonna retrieve? I guess I'll retrieve a mushroom. Why not? I'll end up cooking mushrooms anyway. There's nothing else here. Let's go on ahead and get out of here and go straight over to the Trouble Center. But first, let's go to Zesty. Well, that's just basically showing off cooking the Koopa Tea, which, honestly, is, like I said, pretty good until you actually meet characters that have items that will heal more than just a certain number, well, more than just below 10 HP or 10 MP. I meant FP, sorry. Below 10 HP and 10 FP. But this is pretty good for the time being. It'll help me out, at least. So yeah, with Koopa T, we're good to go, and now we can go back to the Trouble Center and talk to Layla. Or Lala. Lala is actually one of the boos that are working in the Pianta's shops, one of which is the casino. And all you literally have to do is go over by Lala and pretty much purchase some tokens. That's it. Well, not purchase per se. She actually gives you a free 10 tokens. And that is the mission. That's it. You can actually turn those into a profit with the card games that you actually unlock from some of these Trouble Center missions. Now then, you can also turn a profit by gambling. So, yeah. If I don't hit jackpot, I'll skip to the next trouble. Nope. Okay, good enough. I don't have a gambling problem. I can quit whenever I want to. All I need to do is just keep hitting the sweet spot, and then I'll just win lots and lots of money. That's it. I can just keep on playing. One last coin. 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 One more coin. One more coin. I can keep playing forever, but I can quit whenever I want to. Yes. However, we don't have time to try to manipulate the machine. First, let's give this card to Layla. You'll now be able to play the playing game, which will bet for more coins. And speaking of which, here's the winnings. One of the winnings just so happens to be a cake mix, which is best you actually do this, because you'll need this for a Trouble Center mission. It'll give you a Super Shroom and Maple Syrup, and not to mention the Power Jump, and the HP and FP Plus badges. So, enough about that. Let's go on back to the Trouble Center. Excuse me. And now we gotta give the puny elder a life shroom. I happened to buy one while I was over there by Don Pianta's casino, so all we have to do is go straight back to Bugley Woods, and I'll see you there. Trust me, I will. And there we are. Let's go and talk to the elder and give her her life shroom. Oh, and by the way, life shrooms are 50 coins, so giving this to the elder will basically reimburse what you spend. So yeah, that's a really good profit. You get like a 10 coin profit off of purchasing this for 50 coins. However, this is the only time you actually need to use a life shroom. Other than getting killed, anyway. So yeah, back to Rogueport. I'll see you then. And we're back. We'll just abandon Pine Tea for the time being, because Pine Tea is dealing with the Pit of 100 Trials, and unfortunately, I don't feel like dealing with the Pit of 100 Trials. As a matter of fact, I'll wait until after Chapter 4 to deal with Pine Tea. Trust me on this one. You can do it now if you want, but I'd rather you wait. Anyway, that way leads to something else, and we won't be able to deal with that until Chapter 6. But for right now, since we've got the blimp ticket, we are going to have to give this blimp ticket to the Cheep and fly the Cheep blimp. Oh, and don't forget the star piece. So, and no, once again, this is not a 100% run. Let's do this! Off to Glitz Pit. On the creepiest blimp I've ever seen. It's a giant Cheep after all. But nonetheless, this is the start of Chapter 3. Oh, and just in case you all wondering, what about the Robos? Well, after you deal with Chapter 3, then you, go talk to the Robos. Yeah, those 64 coins that you spent on getting the information to Don Pianta, you gotta at least beat Glitz Pit first in order for you to even remotely get your refund back. But for right now, this blimp is on its way to Glitzville. And Glitzville is just like a WWE parody. You'll see as soon as we get there. And Glitzville is pretty much hovering on rocket boosters. I love this town. And now that we're here, we can enjoy the sights. And just in case we want to go back here, we want to go back to Roadport, we can just talk to the Cheep at any time, but unfortunately we've got business to deal with first. And Koops made an Angel Island reference in case anybody noticed. It's amazing how Nintendo actually referenced Sonic before acquiring the rights to Sonic. And this place is not really that big. It's actually the smallest area in the game. It's its own big hub world. Oh, and if you think you could get this, Shine Sprite, you're sadly mistaken. The only way you can actually get the Shine Sprite is if you actually have the Ultra Boots. And that's the only way. Anyway, meet Goldbob and his Babam family. You'll be seeing these three again. Oh, and trust me, he is the petitioner for arguably the worst trouble in the game. Granted, the reward is sort of worth it. The fact that you're pretty much having to deal with this trouble is aggravation enough. And you'll have to wait until Chapter 6 until that's over with. Or at least the end of Chapter 7, one of the two. Anyway, we're in Glitz Pit, so in order for us to actually proceed, and of course I'm just exploring, so to show you all exactly what type of place this is. But in order for us to progress, we need to go through those double doors. And there is security right over there. And security's not going to let you through until you become a fighter. Oh, there's even Miss Mouse. Now, here's the funny thing. This is the actual last appearance of Miss Mouse until you actually beat the, No, hey, actually this is the last appearance of Miss Mouse. Because she doesn't show up in Chapter 4 onward. Anyway, and there is Totals. Totals will, or Toodles if you will not actually do anything of importance to you. She at first will say that she's not into small-time wrestlers, and then all of a sudden, once you ascend to the high ranks in Glitz Pit, she's all of a sudden one of your biggest fans. Yep. It's kind of hard to appreciate talent, especially when you only go for the big time. It's just like betting on the Super Bowl. Anyway, it's time to catch a glimpse of the first Glitz Pit match ever. Oh, and just so we're clear, Rock Hawk, he's kind of a mixture extra P of Hulk Hogan, The Rock, and I think Macho Man Randy Savage. But specifically the main eventers from the Attitude Era. That's basically what he is. And Macho Grubba? I mean, sorry. Mr. Grubba, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, let that loose. You'll find out what that means later on. Mr. Grubba actually is a parody of Vince McMahon. As in, Vince McMahon actually owned the company, but before he did, he was a commentator. And see how far Vince went with the WWE. So, yeah. This arrogant SOB we will have to face. And I promise you, it is well worth it. However, there's one reason why we had to go through the double doors. We had to make sure that the Crystal Star is actually here. And oddly enough, it is. But in the most unsuspecting of places. For you see, while Rock Hawk is boasting like he's never boasted before, he also has the Crystal Star attached to his belt. So now, Mario actually has a reason to fight within the Glitz Pit. In order to save the world, he needs those... well, yeah, right. Save the world, get the treasure, or save Princess Peach. Whichever the, task is, he needs to beat Rock Hawk for the belt. Anyway, this is actually a doesn't matter what you say scenario, because the dialogue will just change. All you have to do is just say, bring it on, we'll reach the top, and that's all you gotta do. Doesn't really matter. And that's exactly what we're going to do, reach the top. But first, we have to talk to security in order to get in. Unfortunately, we won't be doing that in this part. We're actually going to end it here, and in the next part, we will start with Glitz Pit and take on a couple of matches in Part 18. This is RVman985. See you guys next time.